and the only rewards program in the game. It's no wonder they're the official ticketing partner of ESPN. So don't wait. Head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in those game days.
Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde, and Father's Day is Sunday, June 15th. Get Dad something he can really enjoy. Kringle from Racine Danish Kringles. Order at kringle.com and send Dad his favorite flavor, like their bourbon pecan. That's my favorite. To complete the gift, you can add a bag of gourmet coffee to your order, and you will be Dad's favorite child. Go to kringle.com or call 800-4DANISH and have it shipped right to Dad. Kringle.com or 800-4DANISH. Racine Danish Kringles. It's not just a treat, it's a tradition.
Tournament host Steve Stricker joins a star-studded group of PGA Tour champions at the American Family Insurance Championship. Catch the action June 6th through the 8th with an exciting team competition and a new tournament home at TPC Wisconsin. This year's AmFam Champ concert features Megan Maroney with special guest Clint Black on Friday, June 6th at Bree Stevens Field. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
If you're trying to get through your daily activities and you're noticing you can't because you're focusing more on your pain than being able to enjoy the moment, those are the patients that we're looking to treat because we can make a difference.
That's Dr. Ashley Caravelli, Milwaukee's medical director for QC Kinetics.
What we're doing at QC Kinetics is offering treatments that help with joint preservation. We use cutting-edge technology in our in-house lab to harness your body's natural healing powers and target the areas where you need them the most.
These are regenerative, non-surgical treatments, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader, delivering lasting relief to tens of thousands of patients.
What we do know is that the sooner we start treatment, the sooner you'll see relief.
So don't wait another minute. See if you're a good candidate for these non-surgical treatments for joint pain. The consultation is completely free.
Weekend appointments available. Call now. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
We've got our usual delays along southbound 41 from Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive, the northbound side. Got some backups from about Watertown Plank Road up past Burleigh. And then we've got southbound 43 looking pretty good, but the northbound side's got a little bit of a backup around North Avenue up towards Keefe. Westbound 94 delays from 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly cloudy skies, slight chance for showers with a high of 61 at the lake, 67 inland. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a slight chance for a shower, a low of 50. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, this is Homer. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
You said no salad at dinner?
Oh, yeah. Isn't that weird? A pizza place.
Now it's less weird, just so you know.
But I think most people love a salad with their pizza.
Oh, hey, guys. Man, I'm telling you, this pizza idea is really going to happen.
This is the thing where you go and you have to make your own pizza?
Yeah, we give you the dough.
No salad at a pizza place is a deal breaker?
Yes.
I have to be honest. I have never had a salad with my pizza.
I have to have a salad with my pizza.
You smash it, you pound it, you fling it up in the air, and then you get to put your sauce, and you get to sprinkle your cheese, and then you slide it into the oven.
Very good pizza, lasagna. The wine, absolutely horrible.
No. You're not allowed. No.
Yeah. It's almost undrinkable
You're
for me.
You know, you have to know how to do that. You can't have people shoving their arms into a 600-degree oven.
It's all supervised.
Oh, well.
You want to invest?
My money's tied up in change.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride and she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight. He ain't doing nothing but running his mouth. Talk about it, we all about it.
In a shocking development, Chewy wants more days off. We just had a 4-day weekend. Now, we had to work on Friday. Does it still count as a 4-day weekend if we had to work Friday morning?
No.
Darn it. All right, so we had a 3+ day weekend.
I was here until 3 p.m. 5 to 3.
So we had a 3-day weekend. And Joshy brought up a great point this morning when Chewy was like, it feels like a Monday. Don't you always want Mondays off? Isn't that one of your things? Isn't that one of your core tenets?
I want the rest of my life off.
How far are we from your life being off?
Joshy's like, not that it affects anyone else here, but just curious. Like, what are we talking? Ballpark.
People retire at 56. A lot of people retire at 56.
I mean,
no?
You're kind of retired. I was going to say, how far are we from retired right now?
I don't know. What's acceptable?
I mean, you can retire whenever you want. As long as you got the means, as long as you got the means to be retired and don't have to work, yeah, you can retire whenever you want. I'm not gonna judge people who retire early. Good for them. In fact, it's almost like it's an inspiration. Yeah.
When is Social Security now, or is there even Social Security? Is it 67? It used to be 64.
Yeah. It always, if you want the full benefits, I believe it's 67 now.
Okay.
You can be able to hold out.
No. You want the truth? No. No. Maybe. Who knows? I mean, like you said, I got nothing to do, so.
Wait, so when you woke up yesterday with the day off, were you still grouchy because it was a Monday?
Number one, I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, okay?
So this is a yes?
I like sleeping in on my weekends because we're up so early during the week.
Wait,
so maybe
hold on. Before we move on, what is sleeping in for you on the weekends?
7:30. I mean, 4 o'clock's early, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And it screws things up. So if I got a full night's sleep yesterday, I would have been fine today. I think I've got jet lag. I think that's what it is.
Jet lag going from Wisconsin to Florida. Yeah. You got jet lag.
I think it happens.
All right, well, we're going to let you work through that this morning.
Grinder right here.
Grinder? I am a grinder.
Grinding me.
1 hour jet lag.
At least I don't bail on my friends.
Joshy, is there anything you'd like to talk about?
Yeah. First things first. Chewy, you know how you've talked about spies?
Yes.
I got a spy. Shout out to Dave, who snitched on me instantly after talking about hanging out with people for 30 hours.
Wait, what do you mean he snitched?
It's the father of one of our friends listens and reported back the details of me saying 30 hours with the same people is too many. But Friday, we go to the welcome party. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, in fairness to you, you did say you didn't want to hang out with yourself for 30 hours.
Yeah, I made it clear.
And also, in fairness to you, nothing you said on the radio is not something, I mean, it's not a secret.
Correct.
You would say these things to these people's faces.
And I did.
and Josh, for clarification, when they're a friend of yours and they rat you out, they're called rats. They're not spies.
Sounds fair.
Okay.
So Friday, we had the welcome party. Actually got to go home by 10 p.m., so we didn't spend as much time out as I expected. Saturday was the wedding. Now, this is the long day. I was responsible for taking some of the direct decorations there, so my day started around 9 a.m. We went to the wedding, ended at 11. Of course, you go to the bar after. So we've got that whole day. Sunday, they were deciding we're all going to get together again. And I said, you know what? bleep that. I'm going to do my own thing. So I ended up not making the 30 hours. It's probably closer to, 18 hours with these
21?
people? But at the bar, I had an interaction, and I want to know your guys' thoughts on this. There was some out-of-towners at this place. This place is either locals or out-of-towners. Those are the two clientele. It's either people who are always there or people who are like, wow, this place is so neat. Let's go there and let's get some drinks. It was a family, group of people, about 8 of them. They ordered a set of drinks. Total came out to $50. They left a $2 tip. They walk away. You're like, okay, whatever. Some people aren't that great at tipping. You can live with it. They come back, order shots. Now this totals over $50 this time. They stiff the bartender. And I go, well, that's not really cool. They come back, order another set of drinks, tip $2, and then order more shots, $0. And I'm wondering, because I wanted to, and I had had a couple cocktails at the time.
Had a little bravado.
Would it be inappropriate for me to say, hey, we typically tip around here to somebody I don't know? I'm by myself, mind you, at this bar.
They're rolling 8 deep.
They're rolling, yeah, and it was mostly like younger kids and moms, so I wasn't threatened physically by the situation, but I also didn't want to put the bar in a bad spot where I'm now being confrontational to these people they have buying things from the bar, but then stiffing the other people, the workers.
How do you know they didn't have a tab?
Because I watched them close their tab every single time.
Wait, so they were paying with a card every time, and then they just kept closing the tab instead of keeping it open?
Yes.
I mean, first of all, that's psychopathic
That's
behavior.
a very young kid thing. Very young kid.
Okay.
They also were doing the thing. You know what I also hate? When you go to the bar and you order drinks, can I get 2 Miller Lights? Brings them back. And then we're going to need 3 Bud Lights. And then actually we're going to need 2 of the hard ciders. And you're like, give me the order.
So dude is going to the cooler back and
Yes,
forth.
back and forth. Yes.
And then you're not tipping.
And then you're either leaving $2 or not tipping at all.
Wait, what do you think standard tipping should be?
In that situation,
a 5.
Yeah. How many drinks typically you can do? I do 20% a lot because I end up knowing a lot of the people, and it's like 20% seems fair. But if they're cracking tops and you're giving $5-6, sure. It's not a great tip, but you're at least acknowledging the effort.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Tipping is so out of control, Josh. Okay? It's so out of control. It is. I shouldn't have to tip on batteries. If I'm buying batteries, there shouldn't be a line for tip. Okay?
Sure.
What are we doing here?
Sure, but I don't think these kids
20% on alcohol. 20% on alcohol is not the norm. It is not the norm.
I always thought it was kind of a buck a pop.
It depends. Now, if you're making me a fancy cocktail and you're putting a bunch of things in it and it's taking you a while, I think 20% is more than fair there.
Sure, but we're talking about a Bloody Mary, something that involves a little more effort, a little more work.
Right.
But to grab a Miller Lite from the cooler, pop the top, and hand it to me, I think that's what I would typically do is a buck a pop.
Well, a lot of times too, those drinks are $4, $5, so a buck there is nearly 20%. So the situation kind of calls for it.
How about a bottle of wine?
I'm not buying bottles of wine. I'm indifferent.
At the bar, for sure.
I mean, if you're buying bottles of wine, you're rich enough, give 20% and move on with your day.
But so here's the sticky situation, Josh, because I thought this was like you frequent this place enough, you can kind of ballpark what the order is, and they were just leaving cash every time.
Nope.
So they're closing out a card.
Yep.
They're writing on it.
Yep. Well,
you're kind of creating. You're breaking some rules here by going, well, let's take a look at that person's receipt. See how much they left.
That wasn't what happened, to be specific, because there was some grumbling amongst the people working.
Then they shared the information with you.
Yes. So I wasn't looking. The one time I did notice it was when they bought with cash. They bought with cash one time. They got handed exact change back. He picked up his cash, folded it up, put it back in his pocket, and walked away.
Yeah, that's weak. Where were they from?
La Crosse. I heard them talking about it. Saying, we don't have stuff like this in La Crosse. And it's like, well, maybe this is why.
Tips.
Maybe you guys aren't helping.
Tipping hasn't made to that part of the state.
Maybe if this is how you treat people who are service workers, they don't really want to work for you.
So I'll just speak from my own experience and say that I sometimes have a tough time keeping my mouth shut. So This is one of those things. Yes, I know. I know.
No.
I know. We're
Crazy.
breaking
5
news
years
here.
in, that this is the first we're hearing of this.
Just wanted to make sure that, I was being honest with you guys about how I am in some social situations. So I feel like, Joshy, I would have felt like you, which is I would want to give him a little nudge.
Yep.
The problem is any little nudge is not going to be well received.
No.
Any little nudge, even well crafted, even delicately delivered, is going to be interpreted as judgment, criticism, you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
And then that person turns up their defenses.
Because that's what you're saying. In fairness, that even if you're trying to say it delicately, it's basically what you're doing.
So that's an interesting point by you philosophically, though, Gabe, because can you never criticize someone and just hopefully be giving them a nudge in the right direction? Why is it always interpreted as, hey, you suck at life, let me tell you why?
Because they're a stranger and they don't know you, and any criticism levied towards a stranger is never going to be taken well. Because they don't know your intentions, they don't know where you're coming from.
Well, then, Josh, it feels like we've nailed this down pretty quickly here.
But I'll give you like an example on the plane yesterday, and I can't tell whether people are stupid or they don't care.
Yes.
Okay? So you know how you exit the plane, right? So the lady in front of us, right, goes over because her friend is sitting in our row, and it's her turn to get out of the plane, and she gets into the aisle and is talking to the lady in the window seat in our row, holding up the line. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah,
And, I mean, what are you doing? And this was before I said let's go, a good 10 seconds in. Stupid or don't care?
A little from column A, a little from column B.
But let me just get back to the let's go part. That feels like that little nudge that we were just discussing. That feels like that little...
Is it warranted?
Is it warranted for Joshy to say something about the people's tipping habits?
No, about me on the plane.
I know. I'm asking you, is it warranted for Joshy to say something about the people's tipping habits?
Third time around, I would have said something. I would have said something like, nice tip. Yeah.
See, I was trying to think of a way to address it and not be overtly, because I'd like to say, hey, bleep, what are you doing? Like, this guy's clearly working for you. You're going to leave 0? Like, bad tipping's bad tipping. I'm probably not going to comment on that. You knew it was there. I still think it's sort of disrespectful because you made the notion, but is $2 for $50? That's, I don't know what that adds up to, but
Josh,
that's not it.
would it have been worse if he just left the change? I think it would have been.
Like the quarters if they got it or whatever. Yeah, in those situations.
Leave 73 cents.
Right.
But that would have been worse.
But in that situation, I was like, I mean, this is crazy.
But I think there are things, Joshy, that you can say something about. If you are walking through a parking lot and you watch somebody leave their car, at the Sendix in Mequon, because we pop over there every once in a while, do most of my grocery shopping at the Costco, but every once in a while when I don't have what I need and I need it quickly, I run over to the Sendix right there. There are shopping cart corrals, but they're one-sided. Okay? Sometimes you can go in from both sides, for both aisles. It serves both aisles. Well, Sendix are the one side. I tell you, man, every time I go, there's a cart that somebody has literally walked over to the corral, but left on the back side.
Yep.
Meaning if you had just around the corral, you could have put it in the corral where it belongs and then the employees, but you leave it on the other side. I'm to the point now where if I saw someone doing that, like actively doing that, I would either say, oh, it goes in on the other side. Like that. Like, oh, maybe you don't know. It goes in on the other side, sarcastically, of course. Or I would grab the cart that they left there and then walk it to the other side and be like, look how easy, and walk away.
I've done that.
So that is something where you're saying something, but you're also making up for their negligence.
Right.
Could Joshy have dropped a 5?
That would have been a cool move. If
right?
Be like, I got the tip. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yes.
That's how you'd have handled it. Yes.
That would have been the right way.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Now you're not putting the person in a bad spot because you're paying them.
Right.
Right?
I'm paying for them. There's a tip going out there. Slap down a 5 and go.
And you've sent the message.
Yes. That's it. That's the right move there.
All right, so now you got to start making sure.
Yeah, carrying.
You're carrying a lot of
singles. You got to start carrying some 5s.
But this also happens so infrequently because, like, bar culture is tipping culture. That is where it like lives and dies. That is the whole thing. That is where you do it because you know what's going on. Like, it's so infrequently for me to see it is why it took me so as surprise. I haven't seen somebody stiff since like we were going to college bars and doing like nickel beer nights. Like that's not really how this goes.
Let's put this on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll this morning. The Infinity Exterior Twitter poll for Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Should Joshy have said something to the people who did not tip the bartender over and over again? Let us know. Weigh in on that. We got a lot of stuff to get to today on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Jason Wilde coming up. Adam Schefter is going to join us today. He's got some commitments tomorrow, so we get him a day early. Lucky us. And there's an article on ESPN.com that is basically talking about how we are 100 days out from the NFL season. Here are the things you should know. There's a few things that are relevant to the Green Bay Packers. We will break it all down after this on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Doesn't matter what age you are, low testosterone can be an issue with any guy. That's where our friends at Mentality come in. Mentality, local healthcare facility specifically dedicating to helping men feel and perform at their very best. And yeah, they are local. Saw my girl Betsy yesterday at the Brewer game, hanging out. We were having a good time. In Mentality, yes, they are local and they are here for you. So what does that mean? That they're here to help men feel and perform at their very best. If you're dealing with low testosterone, some of the signs can be groggy, tired. You just don't feel like yourself. Don't have that energy that you once had. Those are all signs. Go to Mentality, lowtusa.com. Book an appointment. Go through their process. You get a blood panel done, and within a week, your results are back. And if your testosterone levels are low, that means Mentality can come up with a customized testosterone treatment plan just for you. This is not one size fits all. They want to make sure that your levels are exactly where they need to be. So go to lowtusa.com. Mentality allows treatment to fit into every guy's lifestyle. Learn more about Mentality. lowtusa.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
So far, moving along pretty well. Got our usual backup. Southbound 41 from Appleton Avenue down past Capitol. Northbound's a bit backed up on 41 from about Watertown Plank Road up past Capitol Drive. Northbound 43 is also a little bit slow from North Avenue up towards Keith. Traffic is brought to you by the Bud Pavilion's free concert series, Wednesday night live at State Fair Park. This Wednesday, it's Rebel Grace on stage. Gates open at 6, live music at 7. Summer fun this Wednesday at the Bud Pavilion. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly cloudy, a slight chance for a shower, a high of 61 at the lake, 67 inland. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a slight chance for a shower with a low of 50. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Get tickets now.
Look, they got a dog.
Oh. To the movie event of the summer.
You sure that's a dog? Yeah.
Rough. This Memorial Day, the summer starts with Stitch.
Adorable little psychopath.
Disney's Lilo and Stitch, rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Now playing only in theaters.
This just in, the NFL schedule has dropped, and you know what that means. It's go time. Adam Schefter here with the Insider Tip. If you're trying to catch your team live this season, Vivid Seats is the move. For the best selection of games and seats, it's time to snap your tickets up now. Vivid Seats has great deals on great seats and the only rewards program in the game. It's no wonder they're the official ticketing partner of ESPN. So don't wait. Head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in those game days.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for
you? Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BODY to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BODY to 321-321. That's BODY to 321-321.
Hi, I'm Brittany Miller from Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more. Custom T-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, you name it, we can do it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more is family owned and all about celebrating life's big moments. Maybe it's a milestone birthday, a celebration for your child's first goal, or that work fundraising event. We are everyone's printer. No minimum orders, affordable designs, and help straight from me and our team. We're the one-stop shop for all your custom needs. Start your project today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
Ready, down, put.
All Packers, all the time.
He was a field tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Days until the NFL opener seems as good a time as any to check in with our friend and teammate Jason Wilde. Good morning, Jason. How are you today?
Good. How's everybody?
Chewy's meh.
Yeah.
I'm not playing.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, he said that feels like a Monday, but
it does feel like a Monday. I forgot you guys were calling.
100 days until the NFL starts. There are articles out there, right? There are articles out there talking about here are some things that you need to know headed into the season. And I don't know if you got a chance to look at it, but something that stood out to us was that they don't think that the Packers are going to make the playoffs.
They who?
Ben Solak
in this
at
case,
ESPN.com.
Yeah.
It was his bold prediction.
Well, I guess we'll have to have him on our bold-a-thon. It's possible. I don't think he's right, but it's possible. I mean, they've got a difficult schedule. They've got a lot of guys with a lot to prove, but they could go the other way, and they could, go 10-7 and then find themselves in an NFC Championship game playing for a trip to the Super Bowl too. So I'm not that bearish as Ben is on the Packers, but I can see a path to that. I can also see a path to a very successful season. And 100 days out, when they haven't even started their first OTA practice, I'm not sure I'm ready to write them off as not making the playoffs. That's for sure.
Jason, with mini camps right around the corner, who do you expect not to attend?
Great question. The first OTA practice is today. The first one open to us is tomorrow. There are only 2 that we get to watch, and there's only 6 in total instead of 9. So whoever misses these will only miss 6 instead of missing 9. Look, I want to see if Elton Jenkins has shown up. The mandatory minicamp is June 10th, 11th, and 12th. So we will see what happens there, more importantly. I do think that there has been a shift in the last 10 years or so from the off-season program being voluntary, wink, wink, to being, no, it really is voluntary. So if you guys don't show up, we can't be mad at you like Mike Sherman or Mike Holmgren used to be. So, I don't know. I know Romeo Dobbs has been there because Matt LaFleur mentioned that he has been there now after he was not apparently there for the first day of the off-season program. So that's good. I still, I wrote something for Channel 3000 of, here are no one's going to answer all the questions in basically 8 or 9 practices with the mandatory mini camp included. But they got to start working on finding answers to these questions. And my first one was exactly what kind of quarterback is Jordan Love going to be? I mean, you guys have heard me say it a ton. This is a pivotal third season as the starter for him. And so, I know that most guys will be there. I don't know Elton's situation. I haven't circled back on that. And they still haven't resolved the Jair situation, so who knows what that's going to look like. But you can bet your bottom dollar, Annie, that I'll be taking attendance tomorrow and making note of who's not participating.
Has Jair been told to stay away?
So he allegedly took part in the virtual portion of the off-season program. Now, the way I phrased my question, and I didn't get a follow-up in, was, is Jair taking part in the on-field work once they started that? Because they did the first week virtually because the draft was here. Mm-hmm. And LaFleur confirmed he was not doing the on-field work, which, as we've talked about, makes sense because if he pops his Achilles, they're on the hook for his entire contract. And given his injury record, 3 of the last 4 years, they definitely don't want that. But sooner or later, they gotta make a call here, and because I would think that any player who is able-bodied and wants to be successful, even if they don't enjoy the off-season program. I mean, remember last year he was here for everything in the off-season.
Mm-hmm.
He collected his bonus and everything else. So I would think at some point here, both sides have to say, all right, look, are we gonna, or are we gonna get off the pot here? And so I am assuming, LaFleur last week was on with Kay Adams, and he flat out, well, we're still working through that, and we're hoping to have it resolved here sooner rather than later, which indicates it's not resolved yet. I would think that they would want him on the field if they're keeping him, and I would think he'd want to be on the field if he's going to be playing here.
Jason, you've got a piece about Marshawn Lloyd up at channel3000.com as well. How important, again, not that he's going to, solve all the problems in the next 3 weeks, but how important is the start of year 2 for him, given how well Emmanuel Wilson played a year ago?
Yeah, and look, I don't know if I've ever seen, obviously Chewy had some injury issues at the start of his career, but I don't remember a rookie with more misfortune. Like what he endured was like biblical. Like I was waiting for like the Fox River to turn to blood and frogs and locusts to descend upon the guy. I mean, think about it. He started with a hip injury he suffered while working out before camp. So he comes to camp, he's on the non-football injury list. He plays in his first preseason game and blows his hamstring. So then he's on IR on IR to start the season. They activate him. He plays against the Colts, and he plays like 5 plays or whatever and hurts his ankle. Or maybe it's vice versa. Maybe it was the ankle in preseason and the hamstring in the regular season. It's so hard to keep track with all the crappy things that happen to the guy. And then he's finally able to come back, and they're going to activate him off IR, and he has an emergency appendectomy. So the kid played 10 snaps in the regular season last year, and that's all he got out of his rookie year. So it's almost as if you've got, it wasn't ideal last year, but it's almost as if you've got a bonus draft pick in this year's class because he barely played. But as I pointed out in the story, Josh Jacobs made him ride to practice every day with him so they could talk and so he could impart, whatever veteran wisdom he could. And you can sense that the coaches are really excited about what he can give them. Now, all that said, I would say Emmanuel Wilson was a pretty darn good backup running back for them. He averaged almost 5 yards a carry. He didn't get a ton of opportunity, but he still carried the ball over 100 times. So they've got some options back there if they want to take a little bit of the load off of Josh Jacobs. But, of course, with Josh Jacobs, you don't want to take him off the field if you don't have to.
Jason, Jalen Ramsey in the news this weekend. The list, I guess, of teams that are interested in trading for the cornerback include the Rams, the Cowboys, and the Commanders. Oh, by the way, all NFC teams the Packers would likely have to tango with on the way to the playoffs. But does the Packers non-interest in Jalen Ramsey tell you anything about where this team is, maybe even with the Jair thing that you just discussed a few moments ago?
How old is Jalen Ramsey? Do we know? How, if Joshy can look that up.
30.
He's got to be north of 30, right?
He's exactly 30.
Yeah, he will turn 31 in October.
God, it feels old.
Well, he might as well retire. Yeah, he does feel. I totally agree with you. I was just gonna say I was gonna guess 32. I don't agree with Goody's philosophy. In his case, though, like, does he not feel like the corner that's more of a headache, and that at some point, the scales of justice between talent and pain in the keister weigh a little more toward the pain side? Like, I feel like Tyreek Hill is there too, right? Like, yeah, he's great. He runs fast. He's been incredibly productive, but he's got a pretty checkered past. I don't think the Packers want anything to do with a guy like that. And I don't think, if they're going to take a mercurial cornerback that they don't know if will be happy or not, they might as well just keep the one they have.
Dance
Jason,
with the one that brought you.
Did you go to the softball game? Joshy said it was amazingly unathletic.
I did not. I used to go to those all the time when Brett was the host, and then when Driver was the host. There was some pretty good media access. I have a great picture of Paula's godson, who I think was like 6 or 7 at the time, with Aaron Rodgers, who was a rookie at that thing. And it's crazy to see how both those people have now grown up. One has graduated from Madison, and one is on Joe Rogan for 3 hours. So I used to go to them frequently. I did not on a Friday night. I hope Jordan Love threw the ball better than he did on his first pitch yesterday.
Yeah, we heard.
It was like an ephus pitch.
Yeah, he just kind of lobbed it in there. I mean, don't you expect the quarterback to? I mean, I'm not saying he should be throwing a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, but have a little more zip on it.
Dainty. So, unbelievable. So, Gabe,
yes,
like Ben Johnson did that at like a Cubs or White Sox game, and like threw like a slider, right?
Yeah, because they when you're first learning how to throw pitches and whatnot, I mean, the way you throw a spiral in football, very similar to how you would throw a slider in baseball. And he kind of had that release to it. It's like he didn't really know what he wanted to do, is what it looked like to me, and he just kind of threw it up in the air just to get
Well,
to
Jason,
play.
I had to do an appearance with a guy who was an All-American at Platteville, and he bounced it, and I was shocked.
Gabe?
Shocked. Bounced it. Gabe?
Yeah, because you're trying to throw it in there, and
You choked.
You bounced it?
Bounced it, yep.
50-cent Neitzel?
Yeah.
Bounced it in there because you're trying to throw it, wanted to get a little more on it, and just held on to it.
Jen, you threw out a first pitch, right?
I've thrown a few of them.
Nailed it?
Yeah.
Wow. I think Power Ranking is going to be rank the athletes on this show. I know who's for.
I threw one. I will say this. I have thrown it out once, and I agree with you that you just don't want to look like a loser. But at the same time, you got to cut loose, right? Like I threw a strike at the Madison Mallards game. My fastball tops out at about 60. So, it's batting practice speed, but it would have, this was like 15 years ago now. But I would have totally, I just thought he played it a little safe. But I would also argue that, maybe that's something he can do more this season, and his interception number will go down slightly.
Jason, before we let you go, Joshy was at a bar this weekend, and he noticed that some out-of-towners were skimping on the tips. Several rounds of drinks. What was the total tip, you think, Joshy, that these folks left?
$4 total.
Whoa.
Of 4 orders that altogether was probably close to $200.
Could Joshy or should Joshy have said something to the bad tippers?
Well, had he already reached a point in this incredibly long weekend with his friends that he thought was too much, that they were sick of him? Because if he's, or he was sick of them, because maybe he would have made some new friends by giving them good advice. But no, I agree that is incredibly poor form. I'm not sure that the tip police. Do you have a badge for that, or how does that work? Like that. And what would I didn't get to hear the earlier segment because again I forgot that I was on today. How would you have gone about admonishing them?
I was thinking of saying something along the lines of like we typically tip around here, which in second thought might have been a tad aggressive and probably not reached all that well. We think we determined I should have just laid down a 5 in front of them, like as they were walking away.
Said, I got it.
Yeah,
I got it.
This one's on me.
Yeah. That would have been good.
Yeah, that is. Were they out of towners?
They were from Lacrosse. They told me twice.
They used the word a lot.
Lacrosse. Like with take off, you hoser. That's Canada. Yeah, I would have been curious how the most effective approach would have been. Like if you knew they were from Lacrosse because they told you twice, and you had built some measure of rapport, chatting them up. Maybe you could have had maybe you could have taught them a little bit about the ways of local patronage. So maybe I take that back. But you would. Your first instinct is a poor one. That would not have helped.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And I always like when it comes to money, people get particularly offended. And I mean, I'm accusing them of being cheapskates. So even if I'm nice about it, even if I'm nice about it, the real intention there is, hey, pony up.
Yeah, you're a charming guy, though. I'm sure you could have found a way to really kind of make it feel like it was their idea.
Obviously, Jason needs to spend more time around Joshy. Realize he's not.
I barely even know the guy. Yep, exactly.
He's an agitator.
I've heard that, too. All right, guys, take care. Be good.
Thank you, Jason Wilde. You can listen to Jason on Wilde and Tausch right after Jen, Gabe, and Chewy each and every morning here on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee.
There's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin because Pella is offering up to 6 years of 0% financing. Set up a free in-home consultation and you commit to nothing at this point. They'll listen to your vision, suggest the Pella materials and customizations to make it reality and get 0% financing for up to 6 years. I did it this month. Looking for a new front door? Contacted Pella Windows and Doors Wisconsin. They came over, gave me some great options. Now we're in the process. Can't wait to get that new front door on our house. Certain restrictions do apply. Deal ends May 31st, 2025. So visit PellaWI.com today and make sure you tell them that Gabe Neitzel sent you.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We got delays northbound on 43 from just north of Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Keefe. Southbound still clear, though. Southbound 41, though, backed up from Appleton Avenue down past Capitol Drive, with the northbound side backing up from just north of Watertown Plank Road all the way up to Capitol Drive. Couple pockets of heavy traffic. Westbound 94 right past Calhoun towards Brookfield Road. And then on eastbound, we got some delays right past 76th Street and then again through the Stadium Interchange. Traffic is brought to you by the Bud Pavilion's free concert series, Wednesday Night Live at State Fair Park. This Wednesday, it's Rebel Grace on the stage. Gates open at 6, live music at 7. Summer fun this Wednesday at the Bud Pavilion. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Mostly cloudy, a slight chance for a shower, a high of 61 at the lake, 67 inland tonight. Mostly cloudy, slight chance for showers with a low of 50. Weather's brought to you by Infinity Exteriors. When storms hit, out-of-town roofers come and go. Infinity Exteriors has been local and trusted since 1997, and they stand behind every job. Visit infinityexteriors.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Brewers and Padres action is coming at you June 6th through the 8th. Catch an electric weekend of baseball, as two of the game's youngest superstars square off. The first Friday game of June means Wisconsinites can grab half-off tickets to the Brewers Series opener on the 6th, then score one of the top giveaways of the season, a Jackson Churio replica jersey presented by Chevrolet for the first 25,000 ticketed fans through the gates June 7th. Get seats at Brewers.com.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards, they're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel, it's a glow up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on 4.75 to 16-ounce selected varieties Frito-Lay Lay's, Kettle Chips, or Red Gold Pretzels, 2 for $5. 8 to 16-ounce selected varieties Old Dutch Tortilla, Potato, or Kettle Chips, or Salsa, 2 for $5.50. 2.37 to 3.5-ounce selected varieties McCormick Grill Made Spices, 2 for $4. 14-ounce or 6-count selected varieties Haagen-Dazs Ice Cream or Bars, $3.99.
Ooh, pineapple fulfills every need.
While you're shopping, a drive way back, it's a gunner.
There's something goofy going on with the PA.
Need a price check and I'll take me out to the ball game.
See, what is going on?
You're hearing things. We're at Century Foods, and you can't take your mind off winning that ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes.
I'm hoping to throw out the first pitch at a Milwaukee baseball game.
Or attend batting practice.
Or hold the finish line ribbon for the racing sausages.
You don't say.
The ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes at Century Foods. Enter on Century's Facebook or Instagram by July 30th.
Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Any of those things because it exceeds. It's like. I'm sorry, I'm burping up my apple right there. That's what that was. I wasn't pausing for effect. I literally was burping my apple.
Can we just go to break?
No.
On 94.5 ESPN.
We talked about this with Jason Wilde just a few moments ago, but Ben Solik from ESPN has put together quite a little article on ESPN.com, basically commemorating the fact that we are 100 days out from the NFL season, and he has things to know and predictions. And if you scroll down to the bold predictions of the article, the second thing on the list says the Packers will miss the playoffs. I think two of the biggest non-negotiables for playoff teams are having a pass rush presence and a dominant receiver. The Packers don't have the first and still might not have the second, even after drafting Matthew Golden in round 1. I'm inclined to agree with Jason Wilde that it is way too early. And again, I understand the concept of bold predictions, but it is way too early to sit here and say that Matthew Golden is not necessarily a wide receiver 1. The pass rush thing, I think we all know where we are on that. I think we just have to kind of grin and bear it and deal with the fact that they did not upgrade the pass rush in any meaningful way, and it will likely be what it was. But, Chew, do you really think that the Packers could miss the playoffs this season?
Yeah, there's a shot. I don't think it's a big shot, but, I mean, if you look, teams that could potentially make the playoffs, you got Cowboys, Eagles, Commanders, Lions, Packers, Vikings. The South, not real strong, so probably one out of there. And then you have the 49ers and Rams. So I think that's 8 teams. So there is a chance. I'm not buying it, but I suppose, yeah, I mean, it could happen. I don't like the schedule. I'm going to tell you, I like the schedule better last year than I do this year. I do not like those final 2 games. You know, I just don't. And I think that's, if they lose both of those, yeah, they could miss the playoffs.
Well, the schedule was easier last year, right? I mean, they were taking out South.
They had that gauntlet, though. Remember, there was like 6 games, and you're like, man, that is a brutal schedule. And if they come out of that thing 2-4 or whatever, there was a chance. It's just I don't like the way it starts, and I don't like the way it ends.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you play a bunch of good teams.
Yeah.
And that's what they have on their schedule, because the NFC North is looked at as one of the best divisions in the NFC. You're playing the NFC East, which, I mean, again, your mileage may vary on the Cowboys, but the Commanders are expected to be good. Eagles, obviously coming off a Super Bowl, are expected to be good. These are the teams that are on your schedule. And given that, just a little less than half is the turnover rate in terms of teams who made the playoffs don't make it again the year before, when you're sitting there as the 7 seed, that's an easy team to go, oh, yeah, that's the team that's not going to make the playoffs.
But what I think he's really saying is he believes that Minnesota is better than Green Bay.
Well, that's what I was just going to ask, because it feels like to me, when you look at it right now, rookie quarterback, again, however you want to distinguish J.J. McCarthy, it does feel like they should take a step back. I think the Lions are still going to be a tough team.
Mm-hmm.
We showed that list the other day, and 25 under 25, and they got 5 of them. And then, oh, by the way, they got all of these other studs out there. So let's talk about it on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. That is sponsored by BetterHelp. Mental health is help. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout for 10% off your first month of therapy. That's BetterHelp, H-E-L-P. Because the other thing that Solik says, guys, is that the turnover differential last season is going to be tough to duplicate. Green Bay Packers were plus 12 in turnover differential. I think they were 3rd in the league in takeaways last season. 31 takeaways, good for 4th in the league. Well, Steelers were tied for 1st with the Vikings. The Bills had 32 takeaways, and the Packers had 31 takeaways last season. And Solik is saying that is a tough thing for them to go back-to-back on. And that really gave me a pause. Why? Why is it hard to duplicate turnover ratio, turnover differential? Why is it hard to duplicate takeaways? The Legion of Boom did it year after year after year. It's what gave them the name. Are you telling me that Jeff Hafley and company, Chew, can't put together a defense that is ball hawking, that is flying to the football, and that is making things tough for opposing offenses?
Sometimes turnovers are luck. I think they look at that number. But no, when we played Minnesota always made it a point. Their first guy would go in and hold the ball carrier up, and then the rest of them would go for the ball. They would always try to get an arm in there and rip it out, and they were very successful. They were they were probably top 5, top 7 every year. But, yes, coaches do emphasize that more than others, but still there is a luck element, and I think it's like injuries, You think Detroit is going to be that beat up again on defense? It's not going to happen. Injuries are kind of the same way. That's bad luck. Turnovers are good luck. So I wouldn't expect them to be 3, but I would certainly expect them to be top 10 because that's just the way Hafley teaches.
Yeah, I guess I've got more optimism that they will be a top 5 team in takeaways again. But Gabe, are you suspect? Are you skeptical?
Turnovers, they are. I mean, you just look back at the history of the league, and turnovers are the thing that can be fickle. That's why, again, you look at the difference between the 2010, to put it in local perspective, 2010 Packers were fantastic, great defense, had a ton of turnovers. And yes, you lost Nick Collins the next year in 2011, but you still had Charles Woodson, you still had Clay, you still had all these great defensive players, but that defense struggled because they didn't generate the same number of turnovers. Because, again, that can be luck, right? Like that
a lot
half
of
step,
it's luck.
That half step that it is a pressure instead of you actually hitting the quarterback, and it ends up being a bad throw or fumbles. I mean, anytime the ball hits the turf, it's just a flip of the coin whether or not who's going to recover it. Each team's got a 50-50 chance, and if again, that can get out of whack. So yeah, turnovers are a tough thing to be able to duplicate year after year. It just
where were they on the other end? As far as turning the ball over, middle of the pack? Because that certainly helps, too. If you have an offense that doesn't turn it over.
Yeah, their differential was plus 12. I don't know
which
where
is,
that
which is big.
Yeah. So they had 19 giveaways last year, which would have been 12th.
Which is, yeah.
So they were 12th in turning it over, in giving it away. And then, obviously a lot better than that in the takeaway department, 4th in takeaways.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That makes a big difference. I'd take those numbers I'd take 12th all day long.
So, it's pretty empirical at this point that their turnovers aren't sticky, but we all watch Joe Barry's defense. and we knew what they were in terms of not creating turnovers. I certainly don't think the Packers are going to drop into like a bottom third team.
No.
They're certainly more aggressive in their style of play.
Yes.
It's just the ability to create them and convert them into actual turnovers is different, but I also think if you're more aggressive and getting near the ball more, if it's not a turnover, it's going to lead to more better plays, stopping third downs, things of that nature.
And that's what I would say is my confidence level in Jeff Hafley is so much higher than Joe Barry. I think this could be a defense. This could be a secondary that does have a penchant for taking the ball away. If Xavier McKinney can go out there and do what he was doing, sort of leading that unit, now you need to get production, you need to get takeaways, you need to get that aggressiveness from some of the other guys out there as well. But I'm more optimistic that that is something the Packers can maybe not duplicate to the same level, but can certainly shine in 2025. That's where I'm coming from. So when Solich uses that as an explanation or a reason why the Packers could miss the playoffs, that one gives me a little pause. That one I'm like, I don't buy that one as much as I do the other ones, which again, we know the pass rush is something that could be the difference between being a playoff team and not being a playoff team.
But just look at Xavier McKinney and when he had his interceptions. I mean, how many? 90% of his interceptions came in the first 6 games, and then he goes how many ever weeks without an interception?
I think it's also important to point to what he said on the first end with the not having like a great pass rusher, and then their margin of turnovers. It seems a little less likely unless you're able to generate consistent and decent pressure that you would force those turnovers because those both lead to strip sacks. They lead to errant throws, and it seems like if you're not able to get to the pass rusher meaningfully and consistently, those numbers might tank a little bit. Because if you have time back there and you're not rushing your throws, not getting tip balls, that could also be a factor into both of those working in concert.
And then for offense, it's a discipline. Because if you remember at the beginning of the season last year, Jordan Love had some stupid interceptions. And LaFleur kind of called him out and said, hey, you got to take care of the ball a little better, which he did. He did the second half of the season, but...
And that's one way you can manipulate that number. The Packers with Aaron Rodgers, despite having defenses that didn't create turnovers, were always high in turnover
margin,
differential because Rodgers never turned the ball over. So even if they had a low number of turnovers because they never turned it over, the difference was always large.
I wonder if we were ever in the positive column with Brett.
I mean, probably one of the years he threw 12.
Doesn't really feel like it.
But you had Leroy back there. You guys had a pretty good defense. I bet you were positive in 96.
Yeah, I'd take a wash with him.
Now I got to look this up.
Yeah, I know. I knew I'd do that to you. You didn't think I was going to look it up,
well,
did you?
I knew you weren't going to look. You wouldn't even know where to start.
No.
One of the other things that they do highlight in the article by Ben Solich, and again, it's pretty meaty, so if you have some time today, go ahead and bop around, but Edgerrin Cooper is listed as a player who you should know. 10 names to know, Edgerrin Cooper on that list. And as we continue talking about the defense, he says, I'm not sure there were 5 more impactful linebackers in all of football. Highly active against the run, a reliable tackler in space, the size and athletic ability to be a solid coverage man. He got 1 All-Pro vote last season. I would wager he gets double-digit votes in 2025. Let's put it on the Infinity Exteriors poll, the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Infinity Exteriors poll. Ben Solich's bold prediction is the Packers will miss the playoffs in part because of the turnovers. Do you think the Packers will be able to match last year's? We got to decide right now. Do we want to do takeaways? Do we want to do turnover differential? What's the metric that you feel more comfortable with?
I think we just do takeaways. Might be asking a lot for people to.
I don't think they get the 12. They're not going to get
that
the 12.
That was the differential.
Yeah,
so they had 31 takeaways last year, Chew.
They're not getting to that. That's a crazy number.
But again, to Gabe and Joshy's point, they could also limit the turnovers, right? Them turning the ball over. That would change that number.
They can't fully use McKinney's talents because the D-line is meh. Leroy was a Hall of Famer in part because our front four created so much pressure that you could – Leroy was just a center fielder, you know? Who has incredible instincts that I like McKinney does. I still don't think they're getting all they can out of McKinney just because he's got to be back in coverage because they know that this D-line is not going to get home and you can't be too aggressive. I don't even think he's hit his ceiling yet.
From the court to the classroom and the community, the Champions for Literacy celebration with Dwayne Wade and Travis Diener will be an evening you don't want to miss. Join Wade and Diener on June 27th at the Garage at the Harley-Davidson Museum to make an impact by raising funds for literacy. Get tickets and full event information right now at wadeversusdiener.givesmart.com. That's wadeversusdiener.givesmart.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Got some backups northbound on 4394 coming out of the Mitchell Interchange around the Plainfield curve up past Oklahoma Avenue. More delays north of the Marquette all the way up to Keefe. Southbound, you're looking at delays from Silver Spring pretty much all the way down past Burleigh. Westbound 94's got some backups from 16th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Back on the brakes just west of Highway 100 to the county line. Eastbound's backed up a bit from just before 84th Street through the Stadium Interchange. Traffic is brought to you by the Bud Pavilion's free concert series, Wednesday Night Live at State Fair Park. This Wednesday, it's Rebel Grace on the stage. Gates open at 6, live music at 7. Summer fun this Wednesday at the Bud Pavilion. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly cloudy skies, slight chance for a shower, a high of 61 at the lake, 67 inland. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a slight chance for showers with a low of 50. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Truck drivers, the job you have today might not be the one you want tomorrow, and that's okay. At Schneider, our transfer team is here to help you if you decide the job you picked isn't the right fit, or if you come across life changes that require a different schedule or home time. Last year, nearly 2,000 Schneider drivers transferred to different opportunities at the company that better met their lifestyle. Find the driving job that fits yours and your family's needs. Apply now at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
Tournament host Steve Stricker joins a star-studded group of PGA Tour champions at the American Family Insurance Championship. Catch the action June 6th through the 8th with an exciting team competition and a new tournament home at TPC Wisconsin. This year's AmFam Champ concert features Megan Maroney with special guest Clint Black on Friday, June 6th at Bree Stevens Field. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty here. It's time to turn things up a notch. This summer, don't binge watch shows, binge s'mores by the campfire. Press pause on the podcast and press play on Warm Weather Vibes. Here's your chance to win $10,000 for your ultimate summer. What are you waiting for? Take a shot with 5-Hour Energy and make this summer your best summer ever. Visit 5HEshot.com for full details and rules to enter today. No purchase necessary. Ends June 30th, 2025.
Evan Cohen here. Picking a place to build a life is a lot like selecting a draft pick. Make a decision that will set you up for long-term success. Pick Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, you'll find dynamic career opportunities, beautiful seasons, affordable living, and legendary weekends. From its high quality of life and great schools to its fine arts, culinary, and pro sports scenes, Wisconsin gives you so much to look forward to. That's why you should pick Wisconsin. Learn more about making Wisconsin your home. Visit pickwisconsin.com. You've probably heard of speed dating, but what if there was something similar for hiring, especially if you're running a growing business? There is Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You can post your job today and talk to interested qualified candidates tomorrow. Simply select a time, and Zip Intro finds and schedules qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you'd like to connect with and meet and greet people through back-to-back video calls starting as soon as the next day. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
Show the world what your business is made of with 3 Tree Marketing.
So at 3 Tree, we're storytellers through merchandise. Every brand we work with has a unique story, and we're there to tell it using merchandise, display, appreciation, and gifting.
President Kevin Van Rossum knows that's important.
There's promo peddlers again, or tchotchke vendors, or whatever cliche people want to use. But we work with our client partners to become an extension of their team. We provide ideas, unique offerings that fit budget, timing, as well as messaging.
Check out why 3 Tree is the partner you need. 3treemarketing.com.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Preston Nortman from 2 to 5 every day. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just for you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. Everyone's go-to source for all NFL news.
And we're going to get right to some breaking news here that just came down. This tweet from Adam Schefter.
Adam's on the phone. Adam, you got more news? What do you got?
They're going with another move, and here is the man who knows all, Adam Schefter.
It's ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter.
It's always hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. It just is. I wouldn't be surprised if they meet again, and I wouldn't be surprised if Green Bay is in that game and Green Bay has a chance to win that game.
Adam Schefter on JGC is sponsored by Island Resort and Casino. Gaming, casual, and fine dining. 2 golf courses, a luxury spa, and live entertainment. Your total experience is at the Island.
What a treat to get Adam Schefter early this week. Adam, how are you doing today? Look at that lovely view behind you. You must be at the seaport.
You know where I am well, Jen. This is actually the last couple of weeks of the Seaport studio. We're moving to a new studio on the west side, so this will probably be the final time that I'm in these studios, but they needed me to do Get Up today, and I'm traveling tomorrow morning, so I appreciate you guys making time for me today. Thank you.
Adam, 2-part question. Do teams get paid for being on Hard Knocks? And why is Buffalo the team this year when they don't seem to fit the criteria where the league could force them to do it?
Well, number one, I don't think teams get paid. It's a cooperation venture with NFL Films. You put your hope and trust in them. And number two, I think that there have been so few willing participants for Hard Knocks in recent years that I think, I don't know if the criteria is out the window, Chewy, or what, but you're just looking for somebody to cooperate right now. And the Buffalo Bills, they're a very friendly organization, great fan base. And I think also probably they don't feel like they're hiding anything. Their general manager, Brandon Beane, has a background in public relations. And also, maybe it'll be one of those years where it is the Bills' year. And if it is, to have all the footage of their entire training camp, that would be incredibly valuable. You could do a lot with that. So I think if you're the Bills, you probably figure, okay, you know what, we're in this training camp here. I forget the name of the college they do it. College in upstate New York, St. Fisher College just came to play. And so they're in this controlled environment. So you might as well invite NFL Films in and get comfortable with the idea, and that's what they're doing.
Okay.
Adam, going back to the vote last week for the tush push for the Packers had the proposal. It didn't go through. I was of the thinking it would go through just because, well, when Roger Goodell puts his weight behind something and says he wants something done, typically it gets done. Yeah. Do you think they vote on this again next year? Do they try to backdoor it by, this is going to be an emphasis of some rule that they have that the Eagles aren't going to be able to do exactly what they've done the last handful of years?
You know, to me, it's been given a reprieve. They needed to find 12 teams that weren't going to support the Eagles. They needed to find 24 votes, 24 teams that were going to ban it. The final vote, amazingly enough, I mean, you can't make this stuff up, was 22-10, right? That was also the score that the Eagles beat the Packers in the playoff game. It was the vote of the push, and they needed it to be 24-8 to have that play banned. Instead, it comes in 22-10. So now it's in play for this year. And what I would say is this, that if this season goes on and there's no sort of real significant injuries on that play that we notice, if there's no sort of controversies or issues like we saw last year with Frankie Luvo in the NFC Championship game, jumping over the line, delaying the game, people wondering if there was going to be a touchdown awarded to the Eagles. If there's no plays or no issues that draw attention, I think the tush push just keeps going on and on. But the more anything that becomes negative or I think that the tush push then would be in serious jeopardy. But for the time being, it's in place for the 25 season, and it's been granted a reprieve, and we'll see how it goes.
Is it a bad look for the league, Adam, that they reach out to teams and ask them to have these proposals? The Lions came out and said, "Oh yeah, the league asked us to put it out there about the playoff seeding."
Yeah.
And then there was a report that the Packers, that wasn't necessarily their idea, that the league had reached out to them and they put that forth. Is that a good thing that the league asks teams to do this? Why can't the league just make these proposals themselves?
I don't know why that is. I think it has to come from the teams, the way the work. But to me, look, the league and teams, they're partners. It's one and the same. So but I say, what does it matter? So what? Okay, so the league convinced the Packers to introduce this proposed ban of the tush push. And guess what? You still need the support of 24 teams to enact and adopt any rule. They didn't have the 24 votes. And I think usually the league is going to try to expect to think that it's got the support it needs. I don't think it reflects poorly. The league likes things done its way. The league doesn't like to lose to anybody. The league is used to things being done a certain way. It wants things done a certain way. But I don't think it looks negatively or reflects negatively on the league when it doesn't go their way.
We got a little digitizing happening with Adam Schefter's phone. We'll try to power through on this one. Adam, I think from a Packers standpoint, Packers fans now are getting a lot of flack in their mentions from, well, some Eagles fans, some NFL fans who are calling them babies and crybabies and, you complain because you couldn't beat it, that type of thing. And so, if the league wanted it, it feels like maybe, to Gabe's point, there could be a revision of, hey, if you just propose it, and maybe it is a CBA thing. Maybe they can't, but maybe next time we come around and say, hey, if you guys want something to change, your giant entity, maybe you just, instead of having to push it through a team. I think that's the thought process.
Yeah, and again, the league tried. It didn't have the support it needed, because guess what? While the league wanted the rule gone, or the play gone, the Philadelphia Eagles did their own lobbying. They made their own calls to teams. They spoke to their own owners and GMs and coaches and explained why the play should not be banned, so much so that they even brought Jason Kelsey to Minneapolis last week at the owners' meetings to explain how he did not believe play posed an added injury risk, and it was about leverage, and it wasn't about increasing the injury exposure. Obviously, enough teams believed them. Not everybody believed them. Not everybody wanted to play, but enough wanted to play that it was kept for the 2025 season.
Adam, what do you think happens with Jalen Ramsey?
I think he gets traded. I think there's been more interest in him than I think some people thought. The Dolphins are absolutely open to moving on from him. And I think what you're waiting for sometimes is June 1st. There is a, once moves are made after June 1st, Jen, they're easier to absorb financially. There's a little bit of financial relief. I think the Dolphins are waiting for June 1st, and I think that Jalen Ramsey will be traded after we get to June 1st.
And so from what you've learned, none of those teams that are interested in Jalen Ramsey have been interested in Jair Alexander, right? Like that's because that was the surprise to me is Packers have been trying to move Jair Alexander, it seems, for years. And I don't mean that obviously seriously, but that's how long it feels that we've been in this Jair Alexander saga. Jalen Ramsey all of a sudden made available, and you've got, boop, this team interested, boop, that team interested. So I found that a little bit interesting when the information came out.
I don't know that the two are necessarily equated. I think a lot of times it's contractual based. The Dolphins might be willing to eat some. Packers might not be willing. A lot of times, and I guarantee that finances enter into it. And I think teams look at it from a value standpoint about what it would cost for a player. And if they feel like one player is more worthy of a deal than another, that's the direction they're going to move.
All right, last thing for you, Adam. I went mini golfing with my family this weekend, a little Memorial Day tradition. We got to the mini golf course, and there were people, multiple people, not just one, multiple people at the putt-putt place with their legit putters from their golf bag. Fair or foul?
Fair. If you want to bring your putter to the putting green,
Gabe would.
But again, I think it's fair. But are we really taking putt that seriously? That you want to schlep your own putter to the court? Like, just pick up the putter. Like, if you want to do that, it's that in. Bring your own putter. That's embarrass me. It speaks more about you than anything else. But you can do it. 24 votes to ban. push. But I mean, that's the way it is. Something that you want to beat up other people on the putt course with your own putter.
Well, and I'll tell you this, Adam, they weren't doing all that great. Like, so then I was watching, right? Like, oh, you bring your own putter. Maybe you're really going to be, good out here. Nope, not so much. All over the place. So I was like, just use the free putter that everyone else is using. You know, you could air guitar with it, pretend it's a cane like we all do in between the holes while we're waiting.
I mean, if anything, bring your own wedge. You can kind of pop it up, cut some corners there, you know. If anything, I think the wedge would be more advantageous than the putter.
Gabe's got an idea. That's a good idea. Now, that's a good idea.
All right, Adam, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Have a great one, and we will talk to you again very soon.
Thanks for the flexibility today, everybody.
Adam Schefter, nice enough to join us on Tuesday since he's not available tomorrow. We love our Adam Schefter time. So, guys, yeah, that was the deal. The people in front of us, the older gentleman and his adult son each had their putters from their golf bag. The guy behind us, again, Gabe, you know all this technology. I don't know it. It was a big one, big head.
Mallet, yeah.
It was a
mallet-style putter.
Brought his mallet-style putter to the putt-putt. We're not talking about like the putting green, right? Because Missing Links has a putting green as well where you can work on your short game. No, I'm talking about the putt-putt with like the bridge and the obstacles and all of that stuff. You know, this was bizarre behavior.
Yeah, you're kind of a toad. You're a toad.
Oh, you know what makes you a bigger toad, Chew? You bring your own ball. Ever see that?
Then you're a huge. No,
Ever see that?
See, the thing too with the mallet putter, if you're doing the courtesy off the wall, you get an extra little space there with how big that putter head is.
Oh, that's a good point.
True.
Yeah, because everybody knows if the ball's sitting against the wall, you get a putter's width to move it.
Well, I mean, if you got the yips with the regular putter and you've got the big broomstick. Okay, maybe you could talk me into it because you got the yips going on.
I think the broomstick's too much. Too much. You can't be putting.
No,
you can't play it.
You can't play it.
Nope, you gotta
can't
watch.
Go putt.
I mean, are we really taking putt that seriously? Look, we have been known to keep score. I told you guys the story that when we went to big putts and how I was like, no, I won, but Daria's like, no, you didn't because you had to take the drop out of the tire. But like. Taking it that seriously where you're like, no, the free putter that they give everyone that comes in 5 different sizes is not good enough for me. I'm going to get mine from my bag in the car. Like, that just feels like it's just taking it a little too far.
Yeah, but the only time, because there are a couple of really nice, like, it's I don't even know if you can consider it mini golf, but there are a couple of places in Florida that I am aware of that are like actual greens. Like actual,
really?
not just, Like, then they've got mini golf kind of like that. So that would make sense because now you're putting on it. But I mean, when you're rolling it on cement and, carpets that been there for, 30 years?
Through a clown's face.
You're going to die, clown!
There's a degree to it where I'm fine with it. I think it's kind of douchey. But you also have to know that other people are judging you, and you have to be okay with it. We think you're kind of a tool.
What about bringing your own bat to the batting cages? Is that okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Chase brings his bat to the batting cages every time.
Have you seen the bats that they have at the batting cage? They're older than you.
Yeah, but that's the challenge.
well, Chase is going there to get some extra swings
you're
in.
trying to get swings in with your equipment.
That's training
right,
versus.
that's fine. Like when I go to Top Golf, I don't bring my clubs, and I have 2 inches on my clubs. So when I go to Top Golf, I look like Dorf on golf. No, real. I mean, it's like, but that's a challenge.
Haven't you been banned from all of the Top Golfs you go to for hitting the ball over the net?
Just Vegas.
No, just one.
Yeah, but that was more my son. He was the instigator there.
And you're just the follower?
Yes.
Yeah, way to take accountability there, big boy.
Speaking of accountability, Chew, you got power rankings for us
This one's
next,
a
or
good
what?
one.
Okay. I get a little nervous when you tell us it's a good one before you give it to us.
So it's every week. You just get nervous every week. Because
I think the dysfunction of it is what people love. Fair?
You can count me not in that group.
Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, known for its endless ways to win. And Friday, June 27th, they are showing why that is the standard with the highly anticipated season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty roll into drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is up for grabs. Be there to win your share. June 27th, only at Potawatomi. There is more information available online. Must be 21 years old to play.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got a couple of accidents on the area of 175 north of the stadium interchange, north of where you connect onto 94. There's an accident on the ramp to eastbound and another one on the ramp to westbound, believe it or not. So it's really backed up there, so maybe avoid that area. Eastbound 94, you got backups from just east of 92nd Street all the way past 76th, actually past Hawley Road. We've got the westbound side slowing down from just before 35th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound 43, backups just south of Silver Spring all the way down towards Locust. Northbound is going to be slow from before Fond du Lac Avenue towards Keefe. And then 41 southbound backing up from just before Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol. Northbound slowing from just before Mayfair Road all the way up past Capitol Drive. Traffic is brought to you by Bud Pavilion's free concert series Wednesday Night Live at State Fair Park. This Wednesday, it's Rebel Grace on the stage. Gates open at 6, live music at 7. Summer fun this Wednesday at the Bud Pavilion. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Mostly cloudy, a slight chance for a shower, a high of 61 at the lake, 67 inland. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a slight chance of showers, a low of 50. Weather is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank, custom solutions built around your goals, member FDIC. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Bruss talking about our friends at Road America, America's National Park of Speed. Get out of your house this summer and go to Road America, located conveniently between Green Bay and Milwaukee and Elkhart Lake. Come see a race at the legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road circuit that has hosted some of the best races since 1955. WeatherTech Chicago is up next on June 6th through the 8th. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Come for the experience and stay for the race. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com.
Truck drivers, are you tired of an outdated truck hurting your paychecks? At Schneider, we add new trucks to our fleet every year to keep drivers moving and racking up the miles. Our easy-to-use technology is designed to keep you safe and comfortable while also boosting your income potential. So, are you ready to get behind the wheel of a more reliable ride? Find jobs near you and apply now at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning, life, and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One Collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One Collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One Collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Here, you can just save yourself so much time by going, okay, we like this guy, this guy, this guy. Let's take a look at all the different things he did at the Combine. I just hit my phone, and now my hand is just tingling.
What's
with you two today? Jesus. Do you know how to function?
I just like...
On 94.5 ESPN.
Our conversations each and every week, whether it's Wednesday, whether it's day like today, a little early on Tuesday with Adam Schefter, always brought to you by the Island Resort and Casino, the largest resort north of Milwaukee, with everything you like to do in one awesome location, golf, spa, restaurants. Check them out online, islandresortandcasino.com.
It's Chewy's favorite segment of the week.
Hey, big guy, you catch the game?
It's Power Rankings time on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Did you catch the game last night?
Can I say yes to you?
What will the big guy have in store for us today?
See the game last night?
Which game?
Any of them.
All right, here we go. 100 days out, never too early to start thinking about fantasy football.
Okay.
So this is ESPN's 2025 fantasy football PPR rankings. Okay?
Okay.
Top 10 guys.
Top 10 guys.
I'm going to say this will be tough. Let's say 12 guesses to get 7. Is that fair, Joshy?
If I can help, we can get every single one of them.
Big decision here.
Hold on. You get to use Joshy 3 times. That's it.
Joshy's a lifeline.
We're going to
Yes.
nail this.
All right. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Number 10.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, we have to go in this
Oh,
one?
no. Sorry. That's old rules. Sorry.
And now
So
we're
hold on.
screwed.
12 to get 7 with 3 lifelines with a Jashi. All right, go ahead.
Well, Saquon is number 1.
Saquon is not number 1. I
Oh.
won't dock you for that, but he is not number 1.
It's because it's PPR.
He is number 5.
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase is number 1.
Joshy, have you already started building rosters?
60 plus of them.
That's it?
Yeah.
Seems kind of low for you.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's not even June.
It's early.
Justin Jefferson.
3.
Puka Nakua.
7. All right, this is easier than I thought.
Yeah.
Well, it's PPR, so it's receivers, and then you're just kind
Yeah.
of mixing in a couple of the top running backs. Is Derrick Henry going to be in the top 10? Probably not. He doesn't. I mean, they're not going to say he's got 1,900 yards in him again. CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb is 6.
I like it. Joshy, how many wide receivers do you think are on this top? I'm sorry. How many running backs do you think are on this top 10 list?
There is at least 2 more And depending on how I don't know these specific rankings. I know how most of the rankings go, but
Hold
there are
on, this
two
is
for
a
sure.
lifeline. You just burned one of them.
Fine.
You can't ask.
I'm not even worried
Okay.
about that.
One down.
Then I'm going to go with Bijan Robinson.
Two. Damn it. Don't sleep on Atlanta.
Oh, we're bringing that back, are we?
Dear
Oh,
Lord.
yeah. One of these years.
Can we just
they're gonna be
continue to
good.
sleep on them?
All right, you got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7.
You know what's funny is there's definitely no Packers players on this list.
no.
In fact, I would think we should try to guess when the first Packers player shows up on a PPR list.
So
It's Josh Jacobs, and he's in the second round typically, second half.
I was going to say Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is 17, and that is the only one.
Here's another hint. We are quite familiar with this player.
That's
because
another
he's in
one.
the division.
So Jameer? Yeah, Jameer Gibbs.
Yeah, he's 4.
I was going to say St. Brown.
He's 8.
Again, didn't we already say Justin Jefferson? This is a little troubling from a Packers defense
Is there
standpoint.
anybody that we haven't listed yet?
You
We
might
don't
not
have
get
9
10.
and
You don't have 9 and 10.
Even though we've already sprinted past Chewy's. I mean, we still have 2 Joshy lifelines. So, Josh, if you just want to clean this
No,
up.
he burned another one. He only got one
Oh,
left.
so we have one Joshy lifeline.
Okay.
Big
Yeah.
whoop. I think Gabe and I could try
I
to.
mean, we've already gotten we've lapped you because you said we got 12 guesses to get 7. We're 8 for 8.
Hey, go ahead and just give us the list so far, and then we'll try to figure out 9 and 10.
All right, you got Chase 1, Bijan 2, Jefferson 3, Gibbs 4, Saquon 5, Lamb 6, Puka 7, Ama 8. You
So-
need 9 and 10.
Here's my last hint. There's 3 names that are going to be on this list, probably. It's going to be Malik Neighbors.
Or
it's going to be possibly Ashton Genty.
Or, that's an interesting one. I hadn't thought about Genty.
And I don't know how they're viewing it. Christian McCaffrey is in this range.
Yeah, that's where I was just. I thought McCaffrey earlier.
This is under protest.
And then the
by
last one
way.
would be Nico
'Cause
Collins. I'd
Josh,
throw in there.
Josh knows way too much. He probably saw the list. This is bull. This is bull.
I like McCaffrey as an option. And I want to say Genty, but I'm just not there yet.
Yeah, I think it's always tough to project those rookies,
Is there a guess in there?
especially when they have somebody like Brock Bowers who's going to be getting so many of those targets.
I like McCaffrey. Let's go with McCaffrey.
9.
Neighbors.
9. 10. You guys suck.
Yes. Way to
You
go,
cheated.
team.
You cheated.
How did
You
we
bought
cheat?
your bought your putter to the putting grid. It's a chip.
I told you that those guys didn't even do well with their own putters, okay? It would have been one thing if they were sinking every putt. They weren't. Way off on a lot of them.
Is PPR the best? Joshy? I'll refer to you.
There's a debate on it. Some think the half-point PPR because there are some players, Jarvis Landry being one of them, who got thrown the ball a ton, didn't really do much with it, but he was scoring more than guys who were clearly better. People prefer half at this point. I think that's sort of become the industry standard.
Okay.
That got a little weedsy for me, I'm not going to lie.
Why? What's another popular one? Josh.
What? It's
Isn't there one that's super running back heavy? I hated that one.
Yeah,
Isn't
that's
that
the
most?
original form.
That's kinda standard.
Yeah, that's the original
Yeah,
form.
I know. I just wish there were more quarterbacks in play, though. And they're not.
When does the first quarterback show
The
up on
first
your list, Chew?
quarterback was...
Is it like Josh Allen?
I think it's back end of second round, so 24, 25,
But who is?
26.
Yeah, and who is it?
I'm still scrolling.
Yeah, it's Josh
It's
Allen.
Josh Allen at 25.
Wow.
Wow,
And then Lamar at 26. Yeah, that's when the run goes, because it goes
And then Jane
Allen,
Daniels, Burrow.
Jackson, Daniels, Hurts.
Well, and I told you guys last week when we were rattling off some of this stuff, I think I saw Jordan Love was 16, 18 listed for quarterbacks.
Really?
So again, when you're drafting your fantasy team, folks, I know there's always a lure, a draw to want to draft hometown guys so you can root for them on the field and on your team. But Packers players in the last few years have not been good investments. I mean, I guess you mentioned Josh Jacobs, Joshy. He can, you get down there in the running back space.
It's Jaden Reed and Matthew Golden are sort of right in the same region in the 50s, I believe.
Who would you rather have on your team if you had to pick one of them?
I flip-flop.
Keeper league.
Well, keeper, you're obviously probably going to go Golden just because of youth. But yeah, I mean, any of those, you could make a case for any of them, and you could make a case against every one of them as well.
The snap counts alone would just terrify me and keep me away from Jaden Reed.
Yes, correct.
I don't want a guy on my team who's playing 50% of the time.
Right, and we have no idea what they're going to do with Savion Williams. He might be a factor. He might be an absolute nothing for the first year.
Yeah,
Wow.
So those are...
So on this list, because they break it down by position, Matthew Golden is 35th, and Jaden Reed is 48th. And that's got to be why Jordan's so low, because he's 16 out of all the quarterbacks. And there's guys like Bo Nix that are ahead of him.
Because there are going to be guys that run the ball more.
Yep.
Like those rushing totals are always going to be. That's why somebody like Kyler Murray is always going to rank ahead.
Baker Mayfield, who's a scrambler.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Baker also puts up buku. They don't run the ball a ton. And that hurts Jaden. That hurts Jordan Love as well. There's a team that ran the ball 52% of the time last year. So just the opportunities to even get those.
But I mean,
those passing stats are low.
Caleb Williams is 11.
Yeah, because he runs.
Drake May 14. He don't run.
Yes, he does. Quite a lot, actually.
It's because they suck.
Well, yeah, that factors into the fan. You don't care about how good the team is. Just is my guy playing well in fantasy football. That's
all right, great list. Thank you. No, it wasn't great because you guys got it. It's great.
I thought it was wonderful.
Yeah, you got dominated. It's okay. At Ewald Automotive Group, they don't just see the uniform, they see the people in them. They will service those who serve, our brave first responders. Thank you for your dedication, sacrifice, and for keeping us safe. As always, service members and their families can benefit from the Military Advantage program with special pricing and incentives on every vehicle and every new car sold this month. Ewald will make a donation to a local military and first responder charities. Thank you from the Ewald Automotive Group. As always starts at ewaldauto.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got a couple of accidents on the area of 175 north of the stadium interchange, north of where you connect onto 94. There's an accident on the ramp to eastbound and another one on the ramp to westbound, believe it or not. So it's really backed up there, so maybe avoid that area. Eastbound 94, you got backups from just east of 92nd Street all the way past 76th, actually past Hawley Road. We've got the westbound side slowing down from just before 35th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound 43, backups just south of Silver Spring all the way down towards Locust. Northbound is going to be slow from before Fond du Lac Avenue towards Keefe. And then 41 southbound backing up from just before Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol. Northbound slowing from just before Mayfair Road all the way up past Capitol Drive. Traffic is brought to you by Bud Pavilion's free concert series Wednesday Night Live at State Fair Park. This Wednesday, it's Rebel Grace on the stage. Gates open at 6, live music at 7. Summer fun this Wednesday at the Bud Pavilion. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Mostly cloudy, a slight chance for a shower, a high of 61 at the lake, 67 inland tonight. Mostly cloudy, a slight chance of showers, a low of 50. Weather is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank, custom solutions built around your goals, member FDIC. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions. Like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures. Until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
All power, zero compromise. Ego cordless outdoor power equipment features advanced lithium battery technology that exceeds the power and performance of gas without the noise, fuss, or fumes. From mowers and trimmers to blowers and pressure washers, one battery powers over 90 tools. No wonder it's the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Power beyond belief. Visit egopowerplus.com to learn more or to find an Ego retailer near you. That's egopowerplus.com.
This is an ad by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp recently surveyed more than 16,000 people and found that while 75% of people believe it is wise to seek support, only 27% of Americans are actually in therapy, and people stay silent to avoid being judged. BetterHelp has more than 10 years of experience matching you with the right therapist. We are all better with help. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout for 10% off your first month of therapy today. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
At Potawatomi, where ways to win are endless, another chance to capture epic cash and prizes comes Friday, June 27th. It's the season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty come together for drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is there for the taking. Be there to win your share. June 27th only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
Hey, I'm Mike with Infinity Exteriors. Over 25,000 homes across Wisconsin were hit hard by this most recent storm. And like clockwork, out-of-town roofers are already flooding in and then disappearing the moment the job's done. Choose local. We live here, we work here, and we stand behind every roof we install. Since 1997, Infinity Exteriors has helped more than 30,000 homeowners protect their homes and their peace of mind with no hidden costs, no fine print, and no confusion. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. Go behind the scenes of the Emmy-nominated Giannis documentary. Get the real story of the blockbuster trade for Damian Lillard. Hear the origin of Bucks in 6. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Come on, guys. Let's think about this. Could you do 50 straight days of burgers?
That was very condescending. I just
no,
want to be clear
that's
on
not.
the tone.
Let's put our heads together.
Again, I have children. I know condescending when I hear it.
Come on,
on 94.5 ESPN.
Chewy. We talked earlier about the Ben Solak article. If you haven't gotten a chance to look at it, go ahead and take a spin around. It's on ESPN.com. 100 days Nuggets prediction, stats, thoughts, and lists. And I told you earlier in the show that Ben says that he thinks the Packers will miss the playoffs. And he gave 3 reasons. He said the lack of a pass rush, lack of a wide receiver, number 1. And then we talked about the turnovers, how even though the Packers were really good from a turnover standpoint last season, it's hard to duplicate that. I'm more optimistic. I think that Jeff Hafley and company, another year with Xavier McKinney, yes, they won't have the benefit of the defensive line helping them get pressure on the quarterback, but I think they will be an opportunistic ball-hawking defense, and I think they will be a top, let's say 8. Chew, I think you said 8, top 7, 8. In that category again. But in that same article, Ben Solak says that ESPN Bet ranks the most likely NFC representatives for the Super Bowl. And so, Chew, we're going to reverse fates a little bit here. We just played power rankings. We were guessing teams. I want you to guess the teams that you think ESPN has ranked as the most likely NFC representatives for the Super Bowl this upcoming season.
All right. Philly.
Philly is number 1.
Detroit.
Detroit is number 2. He's going to run this list like we ran his.
How many are there?
8.
There's 8?
This is
Washington.
Washington is 4.
I'll throw Green Bay on there.
Green Bay is 5.
The Rams.
Rams are 6.
So what am I missing?
3, 7, and 8.
3, 7, and 8. Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay is 8.
San Fran.
San Fran is 3.
And then 7.
Yep.
I guess Minnesota.
Minnesota is 7. You ran the list. Nice work, buddy.
Okay.
But the reason I bring this up is not just because ESPN Bet has the Packers as one of the teams that could represent, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th, but Solik told us before they're not going to make the playoffs. So ESPN Bet, in addition, we saw Ryan Clark on Get Up this morning when they were asking about who will win the NFC North. Ryan Clark said he thinks it'll be the Packers. They have the most consistency. So I'm curious where our loyal listeners fall, and I'm curious, Gabe, where you fall. If you had to pick between those two sides, missing the playoffs, which is something Ben Solik is saying as a bold prediction, he recognizes the boldness of that, or ESPN Bet, which has them 5th right now in the NFC for odds to make the Super Bowl, and Ryan Clark, who said he thinks they will win the division. Where are you coming down right now?
I think I'm closer to where ESPN Bet has them. If I had to choose between winning the division and missing the playoffs, they're probably closer to missing the playoffs, I think. Just because the Lions, again, we just did an exercise, and I know it's just fantasy football, but the fact that the Detroit Lions have 2 of the top 5 offensive playmakers in fantasy football, they've got 5 guys on the top 25, under 25 list. They've got all pros seemingly at every level on the offensive side, and Aiden Hutchinson coming back. Yeah, the offensive coordinator is important. We're about to find out how important, because that team's pretty stacked to begin with, and that means the Packers have a lot of guys that need to step up. Can a couple of them step up and emerge? Sure. Can 5 of them step up and emerge? That's where, especially after nobody really stepped up on the offensive side last year, outside of, I guess you can make a case for Tucker Kraft and Josh Jacobs, who obviously wasn't here. Nobody really took that step forward. And, yeah, I think they're a solid team. They're a team that has a lot of solid starters in the NFL. But because the lack of star power, I have a hard time seeing this team going, yep, we're the best in the division, got to come through us, when you have teams like the Lions who are still sitting there ahead of you.
So are you all right with them at 5? I don't understand the San Francisco love.
I mean, I do. There's still tons of talent there.
Yeah, they were. You want to talk about injuries, Chew? I mean, that was a team that was really injured last year.
No, I know. McCaffrey barely played, but they're trying to, well, I don't know where it's at now, but they weren't happy with Ayuk. They got rid of Debo. I don't think they're as good as they were 2 years ago.
Probably not that good, but still, I mean, they've still got a lot of talent on that roster. Bosa was beat up last year.
Fred Warner.
I don't know. I just feel at the end of the day, I think Green Bay will have a better record than San Fran.
San Fran could win that division. I mean, the Rams won it with a 10-7 record. Like, that division's up for grabs.
Yeah.
And having those home playoff games.
And who was for Washington?
Yes.
So I could see a slide back there. Sophomore season from Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, and look, I think the Cowboys were also a team that was beat up last year. Like, I could see the Cowboys being better. They were the 2 seed. They were the 2 seed 2 years ago. Like, they were a really good team, and then Dak Prescott missed how much time last year?
Yeah, well, pretty much whole season, didn't he?
Yeah. So out there trying to win with games with Cooper Rush.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Philly and Detroit, all the other teams kind of feel the same, correct?
Yeah. You can kind of go either way on them.
Yeah.
But the problem is...
I don't know. I feel like Washington is trending upward.
Yeah, but I mean, before, even last year, their roster was ranked, I think, 32nd in the NFL.
Right, we talked about that because they didn't know how well Jaden Daniels would acclimate to the NFL. Turns out he acclimated pretty well.
But the problem for the Commanders and the Packers is that those top 2 teams are in your division.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just tough to reconcile with going on the road. And I know everybody go, oh, well, the last time the Packers won the Super Bowl, they were the 6th seed. That's 15 years ago. It's 15 years ago at this point. Like,
right, and I think
that's the abnormality, winning those games on the road to get to a Super Bowl. And plus, in 2010, it's not like you had, yes, the Falcons were pretty good, but I don't think they were as good as the Eagles or the Lions. Like, you didn't fear them. Like, these are 2 pretty loaded, pretty stacked teams.
It does feel like, as we sit here and kind of hash this out, that it's going to come down to the Packers and the Commanders fighting for that spot. If the other teams win the division, and then they could both obviously make it, but if you're talking about 5th, which is what this has them projected at ESPN Bet, and you think that the Eagles are going to win their division, and you think that the Lions are going to win their division, it's going to come down to those two teams, right, for 5?
And based on that, potentially, for 5, but that means the Packers would be 6. On this list, the highest seed that ESPN Bet has them at is the 6th seed. Because the division winners slot through 1 through 4. And if you're behind Washington's 5, the Packers would be 6.
Which means what? Home wild card game, correct?
No. You only get a home wild card game now, Chew, if you win your division. It's the only way to get a home wild card game.
Wow.
Got to win the division.
Well, that's why I was asking you guys last week. What's acceptable? I know it's early, but win the division and get a home playoff game.
You win the division, I will be ecstatic. I think that's a huge step forward for this team because of who's in the division.
But you're not saying that it's not possible. You're just saying it would be a huge step forward.
It would be a big step forward, yes. I'm not expecting it to happen. I don't think it's impossible.
Of the 3 things that have been listed there, maybe we put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Infinity Exteriors poll as well, because we do have 3 different prognostications. Is that what it is? We have 3 different. What is the word I am looking for goodness sakes, friends?
Prediction?
That's it. Yep, that'll work.
I like prognostications.
You're close with the P. Yeah.
Feel like you got an F there. Predictions. Ryan Clark says the Packers will win the division. Then we've got ESPN right now, which has them with the 5th best odds at ESPN Bet to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. And then we have Ben Solak, who, again, his bold prediction is that the Green Bay Packers, who traditionally make the postseason, we got one there in the last, 10 years or so, where they were on the outside looking in, but traditionally make the postseason, that they will not make the playoffs. It's sort of like the Seinfeld scale, sort of like the yada, 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 I look a little stressed or I'm freaking out. Like, which of those is most right now likely? And Gabe is saying 5th.
Yeah.
Where ESPN Bet has them.
Well, it's going to come down to what these 2 coordinators in Detroit do now. That's their big question mark. Because, their roster is better. They got stars, but how good was Ben Johnson?
Yeah, and I feel it's more about Ben Johnson than it is Aaron Glenn. Not saying that Aaron Glenn's not a good coach, but in the NFL with offense and the way that Jared Goff performed under Ben Johnson, like that's the big question for them. But they still have so many weapons, too.
No, I know.
You know?
But what? You got to give Aaron Glenn some credit because their defense was decimated, and
they were still competent.
He still kept the ship afloat.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever it's worth, I had to look up just now who the new coordinators are for the Detroit Lions. Gabe, you think you know their names off the top of your head?
They just promoted from within. I know that.
Yeah, I was like, who? Again, I was going to offer $100 out of my purse if anybody was able to name the Detroit Lions coordinators.
No, I've looked this up this offseason, and I don't remember their names.
John Morton is the new offensive coordinator.
Johnny Morton.
Kelvin
That's Johnny
Shepard.
Morton?
No, no.
Oh, okay.
Wait, do you know John Morton?
Yeah, Johnny Morton played against me in the 90s.
Well, okay, Gabe's confirming. He's checking the old Google right now to see if that is true. Kelvin Shepard is the new defensive coordinator.
I don't know him.
Oh, man, yeah. So John Morton was a practice squad player in 93 for the Packers.
What?
This guy? Same guy?
Yeah, same guy. Who is
now
the
I gotta
offensive coordinator. So
he might have.
But he was, again, off-season or practice squad member only in 93. He doesn't look like he ever really actually played in the league.
All right. Fair question for you guys. Should I know him by looking at him? If he was there in 93.
Yeah, well, I mean, you were drafted in 92, so
Yes.
carry the 1. Yes, your paths would have likely crossed.
In what position did he play? Yeah, he does.
He was a wide receiver.
Oh, no, then I don't.
You guys didn't have any meetings together?
Well, we probably did, but I thought Beebs was the first white receiver I played with.
I mean, again, this guy could have just been there for the offseason and then got cut. Right? Because, he was with the Raiders and the Packers as a practice squad guy in 93.
Did you look at his picture? Have you seen his face?
He doesn't look like a receiver.
What position does he look like?
Linebacker. Am I right?
A little bit. I think we're looking at the same picture.
He's got a goatee?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right.
Transform the way you do business with Fifth Third Bank's commercial payment solutions. Our market expertise in managed services streamline your entire payment process, seamlessly integrating with your existing systems to give you unparalleled control. Discover new revenue sources, save time, reduce operating costs, and boost your bottom line with our customized payment solutions. Fifth Third Bank National Association, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Thinking about buying or building a new home? Start with a mortgage pre-approval from Great Midwest Bank and experience a state of tranquility. At Great Midwest Bank, we offer fast approvals and flexible options with experienced loan officers who understand the local market, because they live here too. Whether you're breaking ground for new construction or buying that dream home just around the corner, we'll guide you every step of the way. Bank with confidence and start your journey at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Turn those hoop dreams into reality with Precision Sports, your one-stop shop in southeastern Wisconsin for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator basketball hoop systems. Installation of new or old hoops and completely customizable painted court lines. PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee's Theater District. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, artist in residence, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
Evan Cohen here. It's time to turn things up a notch. This summer, don't binge watch shows, binge s'mores by the campfire. Press pause on the podcast and press play on the warm weather vibes. Here's your chance to win $10,000 for your ultimate summer. What are you waiting for? Take your shot with 5 Hour Energy and make this summer your best summer ever. Visit 5heshot.com for full details and rules and to enter today. No purchase necessary. Ends June 30th, 2025.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
They say seeing is believing. And when you check out what's waiting for you at American Place Casino, you'll definitely believe you'll love it. From thrilling gaming to top-notch service, we're changing the game. Come play all your favorites like blackjack, craps, roulette, and the latest slots. Catch a game at the sportsbook, enjoy great restaurants, bars, and more. If you're ready for excitement, exceptional service, and an experience you'll never forget, then we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game. Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Kyle Walls. Right now, get 50% off your windows plus no interest and no payments for 12 months and a free entry door with your window purchase. Restrictions apply. Call 414-410-2000.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
So you mentioned Super Bowls and parties and how they don't go hand in hand, which again is an absurd comment by you two, but it's just one of many on the show.
Dumber thing that Chewy has said this morning. Super Bowls and parties don't go hand in hand, or cheddar is not a top 10 cheese.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Here we go.
So put your best face on, everybody pretend you know.
I was trying to think what the comp is to bringing your own putter to the putt-putt place, to the mini golf place. Is it like bringing your own bags, like to a cornhole game? Oh, no, don't worry. I brought my own.
I mean, I guess you and your partner are both using them. But I'm like, those are all pretty universal. Maybe I'm not locked into the bags, but I feel like if you're playing on a nice wooden board, they're all kind of similar.
easy way to cheat, though. Have your wife resew them and make them smaller. That'd be cheating, right?
Yeah, that would be cheating.
I mean, I would question someone bringing their own bags to a bags tournament.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. And I'm sure at a bags tournament, I'm guessing that's official. You got to use whatever's provided.
Yes.
I'm saying you just show up to your buddy's backyard and you guys are playing some bags. Because to me, that's what putt-putt is. Putt-putt is like supposed to be that leisurely. And you're like,
Yes.
oh, no, don't worry. Or bocce. You guys are playing bocce in the yard, and you're like, no, I brought my own balls.
Yeah, because you take putt-putt leisurely. We got a story about you taking putt-putt leisurely.
I'm talking
earlier.
generally speaking, not like specific to
Seems
that one
like, you know,
time.
glass house
that
situation
I obviously
here.
won, but then Dario had to throw an asterisk on the
calling the kettle
performance.
black thing.
I am not bringing my own putter to putt-putt, okay? It doesn't matter how seriously I take it.
Sure, but again, I think you're taking a little more serious than the average person who goes. You might even been taking it more seriously than the guys who brought their own putters.
Okay, no, that can't be possible. If you bring your own equipment to an outing, you obviously take it more personally or seriously than anybody else who's out there.
You had a dispute that you had to bring to us over whether you won or not.
Well, we all know I did win. I mean,
yeah, I believe you got your ass kicked in that vote.
I do think that, yes, we did find out that, yes, you have to take a drop out of the tire at Big Putts. I think that was the ruling.
We had somebody who played in the league, right? Somebody plays in like a league or something out there that, sorry, Jen, that's the rule when you play out there.
That's sounds like a guy who brings his own putter to the course, for being honest. So can we trust him?
Mac Rink weighing in on the old carbless talking text line saying, what about bringing your own pool cue to the dive bar?
Oh, then I'm not playing you.
You're a shark.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. But that's fine, right?
No, I still think if you're playing for money, yeah, bring your own pool cue. I didn't get the vibe that that's what was happening in front of us or behind us at
People
Missing
gamble.
Links this weekend.
I mean, golf and gambling really go hand in hand.
But again, I'm telling you guys, when I was glancing over, it didn't appear as though having their own putter was really making a big difference in the game. I wasn't like, whoa, that was a heck of a long putt you hit there with your own putter. No, these were like errant putts.
What if they're tall guys though? Because my putter has
a little
inches
extension
on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. Now I'm picturing Chewy trying to
with the
bend
dwarf
over
on
with
goal.
one of those
Yeah.
with one of those like green little putters.
Well, now that you mention it, one of the gentlemen did have the little ball grabber on the end of his putter.
Okay, so maybe that's why maybe he's got a bad back, doesn't want to bend over, take it out of the hole.
That now
sense.
that I'm thinking about it, I'm picturing it in my mind.
I can tell you this, Gabe. I will not play with a guy that has a ball retriever in his bag.
Man, I couldn't tell you the last time I saw a ball retriever too.
What's a ball retriever? I mean, I know what it sounds like, but like
pulls the ball out of the water. But the problem is the guy will be
telescopes.
sitting there just pulling balls out of the water for 20 minutes while you're trying to play. Going, what are we doing here?
Gabe, you're not golfing munis enough. I've seen a few this year already.
Again, I just the people I play with just don't have them.
Yeah, it's a weird look. And when you see somebody telescoping that thing out way far and reaching, it's like, come on.
Well, especially if Chewy say they're going for more than just their ball.
Oh, yeah. I mean, most of the munis I play at, though, Josh, that water's pretty dirty.
That's true.
You're not really seeing
Early
that far
season,
in the
it's still
pond.
clear.
Like, even if I find a pinnacle on the course, I'm not picking it up. It's
No,
like
you're
a penny.
throwing-
It's like,
you're
what are
throwing
you
it
doing?
further into the woods.
Yeah,
Nobody should play this.
No.
Will D and Tosh is next on ESPN Milwaukee.
We do have some delays along southbound 43, starting from just before Hampton all the way to Locust. Northbound is slowing down right around the North Avenue curve up to Keefe. Eastbound 94 slowing from the Zoo interchange all the way to the stadium. Southbound on 41, you got backups from Appleton Avenue down past Capitol Drive. Traffic is brought to you by Racine Danish Kringles. Order Dad Kringle for Father's Day at Kringle.com. Have it shipped right to Dad. Kringle.com. Racine Danish Kringles, not just a treat, it's a tradition. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly cloudy, a slight chance for a shower, a high of 61 at the lake, 67 inland. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a slight chance for a shower, a low of 50. From the WTMJ Traffic